So myself, JRC from Tantra Foundation here with Morrison, and I have my former head of the department in film studies when I was studying media studies in JU, Sanjay Mukhopadhyay. Everyone knows Sanjay, and he actually taught us a lot about the film basics.
Thank you.
So today we are having this program at,
and also we are having a special screening of
Jean-Luc-Godard's
Père le Fou. So we will be talking more about this French New Wave director.
Yes.
And he'll be shedding more light on this movie as well.
So, Sanjay, we always say that Godard is different from others in the way he thought about films. And today we see Christopher Nolan and Quentin Tarantino, the new generation directors, are very much influenced by the plot structure which Godard did. And
the language, we could evolve in cinema.
Yes.
The fundamental thing about Godard is that we had a lot of things.
Yes.
We have that boulevard amusement called cinema. We had the narrative in Hollywood and everything.
Yes.
But we were yet to have a kind of language for cinema in post-war world. And there he was, he intervened and he could develop how to talk, how to frame images of the way of our living. Here in a point, when I just entered the auditorium, I found he was thinking that one should write a novel, not about the life of a person in particular, but about lives, joyous stride, that always we have a better chance to do things. And there you are, joyous in 1922-23, when he was publishing Ulysses. He was trying to make a collage structure in language.
Yeah.
Trying to have double or triple standard of narrative voice. And Godard actually in this cinema was trying to distort our notion of center and periphery. You won't find a story here because this essential point of the story is lost. The center gets the peripheral value and the periphery becomes center, and it creates a collage in the sense that nothing is that transparent. In fact, he in his first film said, I will tell it in my submission, that in his first film he quoted Araga by inserting that the originality of Petrarch lies precisely in his act of digression. Godard always digresses, the way Picasso began it in 1911 through his analytical collage. And you would find that he is more interested to give you a version of his existence in particular and our existence in general. He is more interested to submit an essay on human way of dealing with things rather than particularize a kind of story. In this matter, he is a pioneer. He initiated the thing because with him, the essential became the peripheral and the peripheral became the essential. This duality between the essential and the non-essential is so apparent in any Godard movie, right from his first one, Breathless, Abu the Suffer. Yes. And here we are seeing this 1965 film Père le Fou. And incidentally, I can tell that I translated Godard for the first time in Bangla. Just back in 1973-74, when I was a student, I saw Mascula Femina. And I could understand the children of Marx and Coca-Cola. They belong to our generation.
Yes.
We could see beyond ideology position of youth. And we understood that Godard is a prophet who can distribute our voice using the medium of film. Film as such is not important to him. Mascula Femina, that way, speaks a lot of things. It's like Hamlet, that it refuses to concentrate on certain aspects. We understand the 68, the evolution is not that far. We see that in some way, the social fabric is under threat. And I would say that it is a kind of historical consciousness that saves Godard and that saves cinema. Cinema, what was cinema? It was an entertainment show, some sort of that. And Godard was a person who could make it philosophical, existential. And cinema became truly a precious thing. Truly. You can read it the way you read Sartre, the way you read Dostoevsky, in the same way, Camus or Kafka. And Godard asked in his film, you are not showing this, that who is next to Kafka in your office? There's a fundamental problem in 21st century, who is next to Kafka in your office? And these questions make him truly a voice of our time. He dealt with language, not in a specific manner. In the 60s, right from Breathless to 2 or 3 things that I know about her. Right away, you can also include La Chinoise. But after that, he began his Gigaverta period, a period of direct cinema, where he could intervene with all his might to disillusion you. And then he changed his path from the 80s, Passion, Penam Carbon, all these things came in picture. And Godard certainly became a philosopher of the loner, a world that is going to be a loser. He began to script it, journey to the hell. In a way, Pierre Le Fou is a counterpoint to A Season in Hell. It's trying to rewrite Rimbaud in contemporary.
Yeah, and also like there are echoes of, like, as you talked about Joyce's Ulysses, like Finnegan's Wake.
Why? Very right point. Joyce was trying to design a kind of interior monologue for the novel. Because you see, their actions until now, until 1923, we had several kind of novels, right from Balzac and Dickens to Proust. But it is Joyce who first began to understand that a novel should exist. No, Stream of Consciousness began in 1980 with Virginia Woolf. Yeah. But with Joyce, he understood that it's like collage, all the moments can exist simultaneously. Just consider Joyce's Oxen in the Sun episode in Ulysses. You will find in Pierre Le Fou, he is quoting him, in fact, he is quoting him in filmic terms, and that is why Godard is time and again referring to Joyce.
So I just wanted to bring one more point before we end this. First, I need to thank Alliance and Kolkata Center for Creativity to making this Godard Film Festival happen. And at the same point of time, as you talked about the collage and the tapestry and different dimensions of time and space coming together, was it
this
not...
is a discursive cultural practice.
Yes.
Rather than storytelling, yes. Godard submits and forces us to enter into a zone called discourse.
Yes.
It is more full of discourses rather than histoire, storytelling.
Yeah, so it's more in that sense Bakhtinian. Yeah?
Polyphony.
And
also I feel like the female character, especially in this movie, like Anna,
Marian.
Like she's been used in A Woman is a Woman, like My Life to Live in...
He was Godard's wife at time. And this film...
she's kind of running the show in a way.
Running the show in a way. And it is partly autobiographical because they had just decided to part.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was a very pensive mood for Godard.
Yeah. And one more point before we end this is that during our classes in NJU, once you said that you actually had started electrical engineering and then came into film studies. I remember that. And do you see, because you brought in the reference of Picasso and Godard and few others, do you see that point of time we had by 1905 and 1906, special theory of relativity came in.
1905, special theory of relativity. E is equal to mc square.
Yes, and also Einstein's theory of
gravity. And a few years back, quantum mechanics.
Yes.
The subject-object relationship is...
Entanglement, quantum entanglement, and all these were influencing art in various ways, right?
And
because we
reality was undergoing a kind of metamorphosis.
Because Heisenberg's uncertainty is coming in, right? So we are not looking at something which is, we can say, Newtonian in the sense that it is deterministic and this is it. There is an uncertainty element in it.
This is not completely structured. Having a closure, a beginning, etc. It's open-ended thing where you can take your entry at any point, and take your exit at any point.
And this is precisely
and
what Godard
like
said.
Death has been shown in this movie, like the way people are getting murdered and stuff, like it's shown as very like in a prosaic manner, not given that importance. Like that's another thing I saw in the
it's
My
like
Life
clear,
to Live.
the Vietnam years. The Vietnam years, he is taking examples from that. He is taking recourse to thrillers, and this is greatness that he is making. He is composing tributes to Jean to Rabot. She is found again. What? Eternity. You will find the last line.
So there is intertextuality over here. Intertextuality over here. So I think it's wonderful to converse with Sanjay today. To talk about so many various things. Yes, and just like
the parting question, what made you really get into films? Like from engineering to films, how did the journey begin?
That's the magic of life. Just imagine, Sergei Eisenstein was a structural engineer. He was supposed to make buildings, and instead he makes films. Yes. How could you help it?
So it's all destiny. Yes.
Thank you, and
so
thank you, Alliance
and
Kolkata Center for Creativity for making this happen. And we will be in touch very shortly.
Thank you.